How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. You have 100 hours. You have 100 hours, and then there's going to be a big change. I'm going to explain why that is. I know some people don't always like when we give the 48 hours, 24 hours, 100 hours, but there is a reason that there's going to be a big change in about 100 hours, which I will explain a little bit further into the video. But let's take a look at the market and some of the top news, because we did have the smallest outflow day from Grayscale yet for their Bitcoin ETF. Bitcoin's price moved up yesterday. We have a big launch here today. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. Also, there will be links to Marx underneath the video where you can trade cryptocurrencies using leverage. And there's no KYC, which means you don't need to put in your social security number, your name, anything like that. You can just put in an email, a password, check their terms and conditions, and you can start trading here today. There's also a link to CoinW as well in case you want to start trading spot cryptocurrencies. That exchange is a little bit bigger as well. They have more clients, but with Marx, you do get a little bit more of that boutique exchange, which means you do have really good customer service. You can reach out to people very easily on the website. Now, GBTC had the smallest outflow we've ever seen since the conversion to the spot ETF. 17.5 million. This is about 25 to 30% lower than this 22 million that we had seen in the past. So it was overall a good day. It was a really good day for GBTC, almost flipping into the positive. We're pretty darn close when you consider most days were around 200 to 300 million in outflows recently. 17 million is not that bad. And overall, we did see inflows. So let's just scroll down here a little bit. The Grayscale CEO says that the Bitcoin ETF outflows are reaching equilibrium. ARKB with 7 million. BITB with 24 million. So just this one alone, ETF alone, offset Grayscale. And if we scroll down, FBTC at 76 million. IBIT 34 million. So overall, about 1,700, 1,800 Bitcoin were bought off the market, which obviously was probably the thing that pushed up the market yesterday. We did see Mr. 100 as well buy a couple hundred Bitcoin. And yesterday we covered some wealth advisors that were starting to allocate towards Bitcoin ETFs. And I explained how that was going to happen slowly at first. But now we're seeing banks, US banks are also buying Bitcoin. This 13F filing showed the American National Bank buying about 100 shares of ARKB. Now, this is a small bank, 637 million in AUM, and they bought a small amount. I mean, we're talking about literally $7,000, $8,000 worth of the Bitcoin ETFs. So pretty much nothing at this point. I know a lot of you have more than this, but this is interesting to see them start to turn on that spigot. And this is the hardest part, is the first shares, right? Because you have to give approval. You have to make sure you understand Bitcoin before this. And then it's much easier to buy the next 100, then the next 1,000, next 10,000. That continuously adds buying pressure. Now, I've been talking about Eesee in some of the recent videos, and it did extremely well. It just launched on Bybit, KuCoinGate.io. You can buy it on Uniswap and sell it on Uniswap. Thruster. More centralized exchanges are going to be announced soon. And right now, it's up about 10x. Yeah, I think it's about 10x, which is pretty good, honestly. In this environment, it was up 15x. Now it's pulled back a little bit, leveling out. And considering Bitcoin's gone sideways for the last month and a half, honestly, I'm happy with that. And I've talked about this plenty on the channel before. And I will probably talk about Eesee in the future. If you want to check it out, you can go follow them on Twitter. I'll leave a link to them underneath the video as well. About 383,000 followers, including a lot of people that I follow as well. So definitely check them out. Of course, I'm not being paid to talk about it. I'm just an investor, and I'm interested in what they're going to do in the future. Now, Rajit Soni, CFA, says the next Bitcoin halving is on April 20th. So I am talking about 100 hours. I think there will be a big change, and I'll explain why that is. But the rate at which new Bitcoin is being added to the economy will drop by 50% for the fourth time ever. The halving will impact the following 210,000 blocks of data that will be produced. So the first epoch, Bitcoin block 0 to 2,000 209,999 miners received 50 Bitcoin per block. There was half the supply produced, which is nuts. Half the supply was produced in the first 4 years, and it did extremely well still. We still had a huge increase in the price of Bitcoin, and then we had 5,250,000 produced, so another 25%, then 12.5%, and more recently we had 1,312,500 Bitcoin produced this epoch. Now moving forward, we'll only have 3.125 Bitcoin produced per block, 656,000 Bitcoin produced, and the inflation rate over 4 years is only going to be 3.225%. US CPI inflation was 3.5% in a single year. And we know that 10 to 15% more dollars are produced every year. Like they're printing more than inflation is showing. And this is really the only asset that can't be made more of if it goes up in value. Now, why do I say you have 100 hours? I'm not just making that number up. Of course, we have the halving event in about 9 days, but that is a week from Saturday, maybe a week from Friday. Now, over the weekend, I think there are going to be a lot of news institutions that start getting ready to really push out a lot of information on Monday. Like the halving's in 1 week. Get ready. They're going to bring on people that are very bullish on Bitcoin, people that are bearish on Bitcoin to talk all about it. And yeah, we will hear a lot on Monday that will push the markets. Keep in mind, today we have PPI inflation. There's still going to be macro events that happen that are going to push the price of Bitcoin. It's not just all about the halving, but that is a very important event, and it's going to be probably more covered even than the ETFs, in my opinion. Let me know your thoughts on that, though, underneath the video. Again, Monday is really when I think they're going to make a big push because the event's within 1 week. That's about 100 hours from now, from the time of this recording. But we'll have to see how the weekend goes, obviously. We could see some pretty big volatility this weekend as well, moving into the halving, people making their final positioning. And there has been a big change up today with GBTC, or yesterday with GBTC. Imagine if we get a net inflow day or a 0 day. Like that's going to really shake up the market as well, I think. Now, Quinton makes some good points here. Grayscale outflows are slowing down. Fed rates will get cut this year. Wealth managers are buying Bitcoin ETFs. Hong Kong is about to approve a Bitcoin ETF. The halving is in 8 or 9 days. Exchange and DeFi FUD can't get Bitcoin sustainably down under 70,000. You can see lower highs. Yes, one lower high here, but many higher lows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We just continue to have shallower and shallower dips. I would not be surprised if there are a lot of entities just waiting for 65,000, 60,000, just hoping to swallow up a lot of Bitcoin. But when you have trillions of dollars and you have maybe tens of billions of dollars, maybe hundreds of billions of dollars that you want to put in Bitcoin in the short term, I don't know if you're super price sensitive. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video, though. Again, you can check out Marx and CoinW. I really do think it's important to have multiple exchanges set up because while we haven't been too volatile recently, when there is high volatility, we know exchanges go down, just like Coinbase went down multiple times, like 3 times in a week. Binance went down too. So if they can go down, any exchange can go down, and it is important to have your crypto kind of spread out if you're trading on a couple different platforms, so that way you have access to it in case there is some volatility. Now, definitely check out the links underneath the video. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.